Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to your next bout of the evening. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, representing Full Power MMA, Byron Murphy! And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, representing SBG Cork, Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is sanctioned by the Irish Mixed Martial Arts Association and takes place in the Cage Legacy Bantamweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist who weighed in under 135 pounds with a record of 1 defeat and 1 victory. Fighting out of Full Power MMA, Byron Murphy! And standing across the cage, his opponent is a mixed martial artist who weighed in under 135 pounds with 1 win and 1 defeat, representing SBG Cork, O'Shea. Your referee for this match is Mr. Derek Hickey.
Once again in the bantamweight division, Byron Murphy of Full Power MMA. Fighting out of the blue corner, taking on Keith O'Shea out of the red corner. Nice head movement from O'Shea, turns that into a takedown. Now landing in the side control of Byron Murphy.
Yeah, straight in the deep end here, no hanging around. Murphy came out throwing bombs, but finds himself on his back.
The last time we saw Murphy in the cage, he lost a close split decision to Ben Bradshaw up at Clan Wars 44. Absolute back and forth war. Last time we saw him in the Cage Legacy cage, he won a split decision against Jordan White. So racking up the decision wins.
Likes a close fight, likes a good scrap. Just 20 years old. He got into MMA for self-defense, but he fell in love with it, and here we are. He finds himself in the cage yet again.
Considers himself primarily a striker with a dangerous right hand. So if that is the case, then it's intelligent game planning, intelligent work from O'Shea there to take him down.
Yeah, he wasn't wasting any time in getting a clinch on his opponent. Has a lovely body lock from the side.
The takedown was kind of impeded by the cage there. Elevates and takedown.
Yeah, you can see Murphy tried to grab the top of the cage instinctively, but it didn't help him. He's finding himself on the ground. I mean, that arm around the neck is not really a threat of any kind of guillotine. Doesn't have the type of grip he needs, and it's way too far around to the side. So O'Shea just needs to be patient here and wait for the arm of Murphy to get tired so he can pop his head out.
It's smart work from O'Shea to score the takedown in the open forum of the mat as opposed to against the cage. So yeah, Murphy doesn't have the leverage to post up on an elbow to get his back against the cage and work up.
Exactly. He's working with the feet here to try and get that pass. And look, now he tries to step around into the mount. Murphy just weaving a leg back inside there, sort of like a sort of a butterfly hook from the inside. And O'Shea just applying that squeeze, applying that pressure, rolling, takes the back beautifully. Beautiful. What a transition.
I'm sure you enjoyed that, Paul, right into the back take.
Yeah, Murphy spins, but finds himself in this three-quarter mount.
Head arm.
Straight into mount, head and arm position. O'Shea just sinking his arm down. This could be very tight. O'Shea needs to be patient here. This is a patience choke.
Yeah, he needs to pin his head down to the mat. Just as I say, he does that. And he can't get it from this position.
Murphy's gasping a little. It's tight. Murphy's punching. Not the best defense from here. Don't expend that energy if you don't need to. See if you can get a safe spot and ride out the round. See, O'Shea's in the mount, which isn't ideal.
Ideally, you want to be stepping off to the right-hand side, pinning your knee against the hip of your opponent so they can't turn into you, and slowly, incrementally putting the pressure down. Gives up the choke, decides just to throw some serious hands.
These are big shots. Oh, look at that roll from Murphy.
And this is what happens when you overcommit to the strikes. You leave those little gaps.
Just that loss of balance, that loss of base, but he did land some heavy ones there in that transition.
That's exactly it. You kind of need to weigh up the risk and reward element of it, don't you, Paul?
That'll be enough to put a stamp on the round in the judges' eyes. Look at this! Murphy finishing the round on top.
And just as we were talking about Byron Murphy being in those close fights, he's showing that by being in the position where he could have got finished with the choke. He was mounted. He parlays that into finishing the round on top.
And going into the second round, it's going to be very interesting to see who can impose their will on this bout.
Still very much all to play for leading into the second round of this bantamweight bout. Both men exchanging kicks early. Nice shot to the body, but
O'Shea shooting in. They were both in the pocket there. Really with the bit between their teeth for landing some damage.
Over-under position, that 50-50 grinding position. Now Murphy pressuring O'Shea against the cage. Both men trying to pummel in to get their underhooks.
Yeah, we might see some more of these fantastic grappling exchanges that we saw in round 1.
O'Shea trying to create a little bit of space to get off the cage. Trying to clamp down on that whizzer.
Yeah, Murphy's got a strong underhook there. His head's quite low though, which makes him vulnerable to those trips. But O'Shea's reversed him a little. Now he's on a single himself, but that left underhook of Murphy is sort of just stifling him a little.
It was nice use of the whizzer there from O'Shea to threaten with that judo takedown and then just to off-balance Murphy and then change position.
Yeah, Murphy just trying to elevate his opponent a little bit now and using that front headlock position to pull his opponent up.
Again, we could see the
O'Shea's
trip
got
here.
the body lock, yeah. He's got the arms connected around the back with the deep underhook.
He needs to be careful in a takedown with this situation as he doesn't want to spike himself on the head because that head's exposed.
Yeah, he came down softly there, so he's okay. And now he's got that top position. What can he do with it?
Could take the back momentarily. The guard is open of Murphy. O'Shea needs to bring Murphy off the cage a little bit here so he can't use that to wall walk.
Yeah, and he is. He's climbing his hips up a little bit, and of course his left leg is still tied into the half guard kind of entanglement with O'Shea. And he's in an awkward position on his shoulder here.
If he can establish the Dagestani handcuff and then land the shots just as he's done there.
Yes, yeah, it's a very effective tool. Reaching around the back and lacing the inside of that elbow takes one arm away from your opponent so they can't cover their face, they can't cover up. And if your right arm is free, you can land shots. He just landed the one there, and Murphy reacted very well. Look at this, creating that scramble again and returning to the top position. And now he's got a lace in around the back.
Oh, but then Murphy slips out and takes the
reversing
back.
again. This is not about I want to be scoring at the end of each round, Phil.
Murphy taking the back here. O'Shea taking the back again, has both hooks in.
Don't blame me for getting them mixed up because they're just exchanging the same dominant positions on each other.
It's like the cartoons you used to watch as a kid where two dogs fight and there's like a dust cloud.
It's a little like that, yeah.
Nice
Look, there
work.
it is, that Dagestani handcuff, that lace where he gets the wrist control. It's gone now, but he's got a body lock, and wonder can he inch backwards and maybe get down towards his opponent's hips to try and take the back.
And now, if Murphy just turns in incrementally and underhooks a leg, he has a takedown of his own here.
Yeah.
Such a delicately poised fight right now.
Very closely contested 2 rounds so far.
Was it going to attempt to isolate the elbow there and roll? O'Shea was wise to it and pinned himself against the cage, taking away the space. And Paul Brown, what a back and forth battle we're seeing in here.
As much as the two guys in the cage, I think, watching this, it's kind of dragging me onto the edge of the seat. The grappling exchanges are phenomenal. The guys are getting to a dominant position and then just unloading with bombs. No one's trying to hold anyone here. They're trying to cause damage, create damage, improve position. That's effective grappling for me, and I'm really liking the work of Keith O'Shea here.
Yep. And Byron Murphy maintaining his reputation as one of the most exciting young fighters on the island today.
Those rounds, Keith O'Shea did have more time, more dominant positions, landed a little more damage perhaps over the 2 rounds. Although equally it could be 1-1. They were close, as I said.
2 stiff body kicks. And a knee. Seems to be Murphy's really attacking that body of O'Shea.
Yeah, and O'Shea has that right arm underhook. Look now. Oh, eats an uppercut.
That's beautiful work. Just created that little pocket of space and uncorked that uppercut.
Yeah, lifted the head of O'Shea. That's the definition of impactful striking, which is what the judges are looking for.
But right now, O'Shea again trying to work in on a takedown.
Lovely knee up the middle from inside, and finds himself against the cage. But again, he's trying to elevate the posture of his opponent to try and create space. That strong grip of Keith O'Shea, who's lost his balance and has found himself almost fully mounted. Maybe a triangle threat from here. Throws a leg up in defense. If Murphy can get his, he's got his opponent trapped and he's landing hammer fists.
So potentially you could see O'Shea just sneaking out the back.
He cannot lie here and eat these shots. His head is just about, as you said, sliding out the back door, and Murphy's finding it difficult to stay on top. Needs to sit back and maintain this position. If he can do that and continue to land shots where the fighter underneath him cannot defend himself, the referee would be forced to step in. He's just got to keep adding these up and not panic. Looks to spin back into the mount. Still landing damage.
That's nice work from Byron Murphy to be aware of the escape threat from O'Shea, and right now landing shot after shot.
Huge bombs.
He's a little bit too high up on the back here with no hooks in for my liking.
Yeah, O'Shea could pop up and get his opponent to shake off the top. But what a third round from Byron Murphy. Throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at Keith O'Shea to turn this bout around.
May switch to the armbar potentially here. Has both hooks in now. Needs to flatten O'Shea out.
O'Shea in survival mode as we go down the home stretch. Murphy's lost the hook but regains it. Doesn't have an underhook of the arms. So again, without that seatbelt position, he's in danger of sliding off the top. Now he has his opponent temporarily flattened.
And these are big shots. Murphy's Law coming into effect right now.
The puns are coming into effect, Phil.
Make no apologies for that whatsoever, Paul.
Huge right hand from Byron Murphy from that back mount. It will all depend how the judges saw those first two rounds, because this one is clearly going one direction only. Lots of damage landed so far.
And again, if you're giving the first round to Shea, you're giving the third round to Murphy. It really comes down to the second round, which for my money is the closest of all three rounds.
Yeah, I had it to O'Shea myself, but thankfully neither of us are judging tonight. What a strong finish from Byron Murphy. We can see exactly why he's in so many close, entertaining bouts.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of unbelievably exciting action, we go to your judges' scorecard for a decision. Your judges scored this bout 29-28, 28-28,